San Francisco real estate is down, and Airbnbs in San Francisco are down bad. Hotels are down bad. Commercial real estate is probably one of the worst, not just in the US, but in the entire first world country world. I mean, I've never seen commercial real estate being sold for 75% off. Have you? Not really. Not even in 2008. But if you check out other places like Hong Kong, Tokyo, Singapore, a lot of these first world countries, you do not see their commercial real estate in the first and most populated downtown areas sell for 75% off, maybe 7% off, but not 75% off. Only San Francisco, guys. I mean, they really, really ran themselves to the ground. Now, we can't just talk about San Francisco. We got to talk about the rest of the Bay Area because there's 7 million people living here, and people are really moving out in droves. So the office vacancy in Oakland's core business district has hit a staggering high, the highest that we've seen in decades. It's 35.7% in the second quarter. Now, you might think, that is insane. Can it get any worse than this? Absolutely. In fact, 35.7% is just the beginning. If you guys think 35.7% is a lot, I think it's more like 50 to 60, even 70% for some districts in the Bay Area, especially downtown San Francisco. Now, isn't 70% a little bit too crazy and too much? It's true, because there's a lot of office space that's still leased out, but the employees have already moved online or the CEOs have already left. And the reason why they still have these leases is you can't actually cancel them because you signed them. So you're going to have to wait till the lease ends. And a lot of people are just letting the leases end, and they're not going to renew the lease. And especially people who are trying to sublease these offices out, nobody wants it. Uber has already tried subleasing its office of 250,000 square feet, for example. They're just one of the most popular companies out there. Even with their clout, nobody wants any offices. This is pretty bad. And with Oakland's crime rate being one of the highest, and also 911 being virtually non-responsive in Oakland, this is worse than Cyberpunk 2077. I mean, at least they got tech. San Francisco and the Bay Area don't have tech anymore. The tech has left for places like Las Vegas, Austin, and Miami. I mean, this is one of the worst cities to live in right now. And especially with vacancies at 35, guys, don't even believe it's at 35%. Because San Francisco's vacancies are pretty high as well, at roughly like 30 to 32%. But like I said before, it's almost double that point. Because there's already business owners that say that they own a bar. You know, it used to be a party outside with hundreds of people walking through his bar, walking through the streets. Now he says that at night it's 3 to 5 people. Okay, it's worse than downtown Cincinnati. And I've been to downtown Cincinnati. There's literally nobody in downtown Cincinnati at night. It's worse than that. I mean, and this is supposed to be the number one tech city in North America. And it is complete garbage right now. Now, Miami tech influx slows, but it's still going on and it's still very strong. So Miami is pretty much thanking the Bay Area. They are thanking California for their absurd laws and pretty much no enforcement of law. You know, the laws in San Francisco are super lax. You pretty much go to the Walgreens, steal a couple frozen pizzas, go out, and no one's going to arrest you. And also there's a massive break-in of the Gucci store, one of the biggest robberies of a luxury store in San Francisco. And I don't think there's been any arrest. Okay, now, just to let you guys know, I'm pretty sure the police, they want to do something, but they can't because of the crazy amount of policies. And so far, you know, Miami is getting all the tech, right? Because at least Miami doesn't have tents and homeless encampments on the streets. At least Miami doesn't have open-air drug markets just everywhere. You know, if you go to Brick Hill, downtown Miami, and you come out at night, it's packed with people. It's very safe. You see luxury cars park on the side of the roads and the windows don't get broken in. Miami is just so much of a better city than a lot of the California areas. Now, Miami tech, it's becoming really big. People are also saying that Miami is kind of like the Wall Street of the South. They also stole a bunch of financial companies and institutions from Manhattan. Now they're getting a lot of tech startups from San Francisco. Now, if I have a startup, no way in hell are you going to pay me enough to move to San Francisco. You know, I think a lot of people in the startup industry, they value the city. They want to make sure the city is safe. So Miami's becoming this massive, you know, tech hub right now. It's a tech sanctuary. Now look at this. This is actually a business owner. You do have this business owner who owns a cafe in San Francisco and pretty much says that pretty much sees a crazy amount of crime, right? You got cafe owners closing down. You got people in like the police sector, the firefighter sector, the hospitality sector, all saying the same thing. The mayor has no excuses. San Francisco has a great location. They have the tech companies. They have the talented people inflowing in. And you kind of have to do a really bad job to really screw things up when everything is going your way. I mean, the people aren't even asking much, okay? Other major cities, they keep asking like their governments to make new infrastructure projects or make the streets cleaner or better or more high tech. If you go to Singapore, people, they just keep talking about, oh, can you just please make another, massive underground rail system to connect my neighborhood to the rest of the city. I mean, people talk about that. San Francisco people aren't even asking for these stuff. Okay, they just want to have a clean street to walk on that doesn't have feces. I mean, when it gets that low, this is probably not the best city to live in. So what a lot of people are saying is the mayor should have really taken action like a while back when things were getting pretty bad. Because, San Diego, it got really bad too with the tents encroaching on tourist traps in downtown. They actually made a ban on homeless encampments. So there's no more homeless encampments in San Diego downtown and tourist traps. They were mostly specified in specific zones that the government actually sets up. So San Diego is actually doing something. I mean, they're still pretty bad, but they're still doing something to help. And I keep saying this, right? San Francisco do the same thing. Okay, maybe designate certain zones for the homeless and I guess people who are willing to shoot up drugs. But you just can't let them just roam free everywhere. Okay, the whole city is just a massive crime pit. Okay, so many businesses are moving out. Right now, you have luxury stores like, Breitling, Rolex, Gucci. These guys are really thinking about leaving. They don't want to stay in the city, especially the city already has a massive outflow of rich people anyway. If you check out the sales of luxury stores in San Francisco, they're pretty low. Okay, it used to be packed with people. Now luxury stores in San Francisco are extremely empty because most rich people have moved. A lot of rich people from San Francisco, they've moved to other places. Now their address is still in San Francisco, but they're moving out to other areas. Apparently, Austin's getting popular, Las Vegas, like I said before, even freaking Canada is getting pretty popular with American wealthy individuals. Portugal is also getting a lot of people coming in. You get the idea, right? We're seeing a lot of wealthy CEOs, wealthy individuals. They still operate their companies in San Francisco, but they themselves are outside of the Bay Area. And it makes sense. This is not a great place to stay. And check this out. The homeless situation is so crazy in San Francisco that San Francisco apartment building seeks help as homeless encampment grows underneath. There's also stories of people straight up buying farm stables and massive rocks and just putting them on the sidewalk so they won't be like homeless encampments. And people are like, why don't you just call the police or like call the city for help? They did. The city literally doesn't help. Guys, seriously, when you live in a city, you're paying all this crazy tax, and what you really want is just have like a decently clean street to walk out of your apartment building with, and the city doesn't help. I can't imagine staying in a place like this. Now, keep in mind that I like San Francisco. I've been there pre-pandemic. It was a pretty fantastic place to live. But when it gets to this point, like, come on. Like, when it gets to this point, it gets insane. I mean, we have a lot of people living outside the U.S. laughing at us because of how San Francisco is. They literally call it zombie land. And it's pretty embarrassing because this is where all the big startups really happen, right? This is like where all of our tech was born, but it's really going down the gutter. All right, it's terrible to see this kind of stuff, and I have no words for this. Just think about this yourself. Comment below, okay? And guess what? The city doesn't really care either, so this is actually pretty crazy. So that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment below. I really hope San Francisco recovers. It's not looking so great.